Time now to take a look at what's grabbing the headlines here in France. Florence Villemino is here with me in the studio for the press review. Let's start off with this article in Libération that focuses on a high-profile trial.
That's right. Now, he was once seen as being one of the most powerful men in France. Bernard Squarcini, the former domestic spy chief, Sarkozys cop, as you can read on the front page of Libération. Now, Tuesday, he'll appear before the judge for allegedly ordering the seizure of phone records from a journalist from Le Monde named Gérard Davet. Now, this journalist was investigating a case of alleged illicit political party funding that involved Nicolas Sarkozy, and that's why they're calling him Sarkozy's cop. But Libé points out that even though he'll be facing justice alone, he isn't going to be going down alone. And you can read here that Squarcini has no more secrets. Basically, he's been settling his scores in public by writing a tell-all book, naming names and pointing fingers. For instance, he came out and named people from the Corsican mafia that he says were actually working as informers for the police. Now, these people had died since then, so that's why he was naming them. But Libération in their editorial wonders, why is he coming out with all these revelations now? And Libé says, you really have to take all this with a pinch of salt. Such a character never coughs up information like this without having a hidden agenda. According to Libération, all this could be part of an ego trip.
All right, so we might find out what happens next in a couple of days. Let's focus on Le Figaro, on the unrest in the Central African Republic.
That's right. I pulled out two articles today. Le Figaro says that French soldiers are overwhelmed by the scale of violence. Now, there are 1,600 soldiers who have been deployed in the Opération Sangaris. Now, they've come to support some 5,000 African soldiers, but this isn't enough to stop the killings on the ground, according to Le Figaro. And Le Figaro investigates how France is seeking help in this operation and points out that the usual great powers and partners like Great Britain, Germany, and Italy are shunning the military operation in the Central African Republic. So France is actually turning to unlikely allies in the north and the east for help, namely Estonia and Georgia, who could very soon join the military operation.
All right, let's move on to a totally different story this time. Some good news for France, because at the Sochi Olympic Games, a French skier has won a double gold medal.
That's right. Let's take a look at the front page of L'Équipe today. L'Équipe is the sports daily. It talks about Divine Martin. Now, this is Martin Fourcade. He added another gold medal to his collection by winning the men's biathlon 20K race. And Monday, he already won the gold for the pursuit. Now, L'Équipe says that Fourcade is really the big boss at these Olympics. He's the first Frenchman since Jean-Claude Killy to win 2 gold medals in the same Winter Olympics. But this was 46 years ago that Killy, so 1968, Killy won 3 medals. So according to Le Parisien, Fourcade is in Killy's footsteps, or skis traces, I guess you could say. He wants to win another medal to match that record. So he still has a couple of races to compete in these games. So perhaps he could still win a couple more medals.
All right, wish him luck. Meanwhile, the press is also concerned about the rising temperatures in Sochi.
That's right. The Huffington Post says it's so hot in Sochi that people are calling it the Summer Olympics. According to this article, it was 20 degrees in the Olympic Village and 14 degrees on the slopes. So that's great for your tan, but some people are saying that it's actually starting to disrupt the games. Some athletes, for instance, say that it's like skiing in snow. But since it's changing the consistency, all this could affect the competition. Now, some races, for instance, have been moved forward to earlier times, so the weather will be a little bit cooler. But this article points out that tourists are really thrilled because on top of watching the Olympic Games, they can also go take a dip in the Black Sea. But as you could read here in Atlantico, Olympic organizers say they're really monitoring the situation very closely. They say they have a backup emergency plan if the situation gets really critical, and that's the fact that they've got a stock of snow ready to use. They have about 400,000 tons of snow that they could use, and all this snow, don't worry, it's protected from the temperature with special tarps. Atlantico says, though, it's high time they pulled this snow out.
Now, all week leading up to today, to Valentine's Day, you've pulled out some quirky articles about love at the Sochi Olympic Games, about love in hunting magazines, and now you've pulled out something something from Le Parisien, which takes a closer look at love in the modern age.
That's right. This is a pretty funny article in Le Parisien. It's as if they discovered internet dating all of a sudden. Le Parisien looks at love.net, so love.net. What's the role of internet in this modern age, in the art of love? But it's really strange because, as I was saying, it's like the Parisien doesn't really understand the whole way internet dating works. They say it's weird because this is a virtual kind of love. People are hiding behind their aliases and etc. This can't be real love, but Le Parisien points out that no, every now and then this virtual love does turn into real love, and sometimes people have happy endings. And Le Parisien talks about people, for instance, who met online and had lots of babies, because according to Le Parisien, that's the whole point of internet dating. But you can read more about some happy stories in Le Parisien today on the modern use of internet in love.
So obviously written by journalists who are from quite a different generation to ours.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you very much for that. That was Florence Villeminot with today's press review. She'll be back a little bit later on during the day with the international newspapers. Coming up in Focus, we'll meet with Mexican families who have lost their loved ones kidnapped by drug cartels. They tell France 24 that even when a ransom is paid, victims usually get killed. And what's more, police officers themselves are often complicit in these crimes. But first, let's take a look at the sports roundup, starting with the Sochi Olympics. Martin Fourcade has won his second biathlon gold medal, much to France's delight.